Hello.
Hello. All right, so good morning. So I'm Olivier, a senior DevOps architect at AWS Professional Services, and been doing DevOps transformation and sharing my journey also multiple times here at the DevOps Enterprise Summit with Jin. And I think we are going to give it another go this time with another different angle. So looking forward to that.
Yeah. So good morning, everyone. My name is Claude Ampigny. I'm also a senior consultant at AWS. I'm with AWS for more than 6 years now, and I'm basically helping customers to design solution, and I lead the implementation of solution for our large customers. So during my career at AWS, I've been fortunate enough to meet very smart people, being like customer executive, being AWS top exec, being consultant, being account manager, solution architect, and being also DevOps consultant like Olivier. And when Olivier joined AWS 2 years back, so I found out that there were one drawback about Olivier. Sorry to say that. There was one big thing about Olivier that he could not control. It was the fact that Olivier joined during COVID. And joining during COVID, no matter how smart Olivier is, he could not be exposed to the people that I had been exposed in the past. He could not share his idea and get the light that he deserved. So we decided to act upon this and try to find a solution, a very programmatic solution, because we are developers and consultants, a very programmatic solution to really try to get Olivier the light that he was deserving and helping Olivier to build his internal network as well as influencing the DevOps community within AWS. So yes, this call is, this talk is not about being the next YouTuber or Twitch influencer. This deck is about how you can build influence with your peers, your team, within your company, and eventually within your customers as well.
Right, so maybe we'll start with the definition, right?
Yeah, like every good consultant. So the definition of, we found out a very good and interesting definition. Influence is to have effect on way that someone behave or think, especially giving them example to follow. So that's a very good definition and a very broad definition. So we are not going to pursue all the different aspects on influence and how you can build that. We are going to narrow the topic a bit on video-based influence and how we can influence using video-based. There are several ways you can use conferencing, you can write books, there are several things, but now the topic is video-based.
Right, and this talk is going to have 3 parts, right? So the first one is what we see, like some data points in terms of how we build influence and also the type of medium that we can use. Second part is going to be more about an experience report on how we have been doing that with ourselves, within our enterprise, within AWS, and with our customers. And the third part is going to be more about kind of hands-on and how you can replicate that yourself with 3 examples, 3 formats. So let's jump into the first part.
Okay, so the first question is why video-based influence matter at the first place? The very first answer is because it is the media. Like 95% of teens use YouTube, and it's not only teens. So it's you, me. Everybody use YouTube to get some knowledge. So that our first go-to action when you try to have some knowledge is, okay, let me find if I can find something on YouTube or on a video-based kind of platform. The next thing is, if we really want to influence people, we need to influence them with something that matters to them. And so what are the top 3 reasons why people choose their organization? So we look after that. And what we find out and what we found was that the top 1 reason was the work-life balance. The second reason was learning and development. The third reason was salary and benefits. So I'm not going to help on the salary. So it's above our pay grade. miserably. But the first one, the work-life balance, is something that you find a lot on platforms like YouTube, Twitch, or stuff like that. So we don't focus on that. But we really focus on the second topic for Gen Z or millennials people, which is how they could develop themselves or learn new skills. And one thing to read about this data point, is also that Gen Z or millennials are valued more the training and the learning rather than salary and benefits. So it is very important for every one of us to really get that data point in mind, so we find topics that interest people. Because if we want to influence them, we have to find the right vehicles, I would say.
And also, I think, Claude, is that influence cannot be accidental, right? I mean, you can influence by accident or just if you are kind of lucky. But in the way that we think and work at AWS, also, we need to create mechanisms. So in our case, we need to create a mechanism to be influential. I think this is the next piece of the talk, right?
And the point of not being accidental is that influence is the combination of intention, of strategy, and execution. I mean, to influence well people, you get to have those three things, otherwise you are not influencing and you won't be able to influence anyone. So this is the right combination, and today I will speak more about intention, so we find out what is the topic. So now let's discuss about the strategy. I will focus on the strategy, and Olivier will focus on the execution and sharing tips with you on how you can start, okay? So we are in the city of Amsterdam, so this is basically a three-step approach. And the way that we see it is it's like a city. So we take the Amsterdam map, and we created some very interesting districts. So there are 4 districts that we wanted to conquer, which is the individual district, the team district, the enterprise district, customer district, and we have our Dutch fishermen that will go and try to fish out there and try to fish for influence, okay? So the first step is initiate. So we try to conquer these 5 districts. So in those different areas, so what we can do is try to find out specific things and specific intention that you would do in those 4 specific areas. So in the individual space, so look for and try to be specific about what interests people, what is the value that you can bring, skills. On the team district, so try to build mechanisms that are repeatable within the team. So the team can leverage on that and others can do it. On the enterprise district, try to focus on the outcome. So what is the outcome for the company? What does that bring for your company, for us? What does that bring for AWS to kind of build like an influential mechanism? And the third one, and the fourth one is inspire. So for your customer, you need to inspire them so then they get attracted with the culture or they get attracted with the product or whatever you have to propose, so then they embrace it, okay?
So this is the initiate phase, and what about this second phase, which is the buzz?
Yeah, I mean, buzzing is like everyone wants to do. So when you want to buzz, so what we find out is that you have to really focus on something. And when you want to buzz, the accelerator, or I would say the big fish, is in the enterprise district. So the way that we see it is we want to buzz, and we want to basically personalize what we will be doing. When I say personalize, it's personalize the content, but also personalize and brand and build your personal brand so people identify the topic and they identify you as a vehicle for this topic. So in a matter of months, so Olivier has been identified as the DevOps guru in France for AWS ProServe because he shared this topic, and this is like part of his personal branding. So personalize and be what you want and share what you want to do. I mean, build your brand. So now we want to scale. And now we want to go out and fish a lot of and conquer a lot of big fish out there. And for this, there are also specific mechanisms that you can do. So if we go to the next slide, you will see that what we do there is we build product. We productize, and productize. So what we say by productizing is building a product out of what you have done, so that gives you a repeatable mechanism that people can easily consume and that you can easily market as well. And if you see, we basically discuss about addressing the different areas. One of the areas that we don't address in this scale mechanism is a team district. Why that? Because at AWS, we are builders, so we want to keep our feet in the ground. So we want to stick with the people and really speak to developers and really speak to people that does things and builders as well. So we want to get our hands dirty with the techniques, with the technical aspect, but still we want to help the enterprise and to help the customer with the product that we've built. So we'll share our journey on this, and you will see that by starting and by buzzing and by probably giving people explain what you are doing, we also attract customers. So I don't want to disclose what's coming.
But Claude, I think if we get that many fishes, we're going to need a bigger boat, right? So reference to Joe's very nice movies. But the thing is that in my experience as well, right? So looking at the different districts there, and I think the first district for me, as we initiate, is the individual level, right? So how do I influence individuals? So I'm going to be able to, for example, in the format that I'm using in the videos, I'm going to share with you the different formats. I'm going to use presentations, I'm going to use demos, and I'm going to use transparent whiteboarding, like being able to tell the story for those individuals. And then I want to share with the teams, right? The people in my team, in my own team. So for example, we created a channel with some videos, so I get them to record what they are doing and do kind of a show and tell and demos and presentations. So far, they have been doing 9 videos. We have collected 350 views and for 45 subscribers. The size of my team is much smaller than 45. So already within the team, I start to influence outside in my company. Just because we are making videos, and those videos are kind of hands-on, they are really hands-on, like troubleshooting Kubernetes and those, IAM type of aspects. But we start to influence not only within the team, but I also can influence outside of my team. The other aspect now, if we go to the enterprise district, is that, so how do we influence within my company, within the enterprise? So to do that, for example, I've organized fireside chats, right? So there are videos, formats, and you will see some of that. So far, I've been accumulating 7 videos only, with a total of 550 views and 75 subscribers. I will mention that here there are French-talking videos, so it's not for everyone in the company, but I do that also for a purpose, because there is so much content that is actually English-speaking, that having personalized content, which is native language, is also very interesting. And last but not least, but as we were influencing that, we were talking to our customers as consultants, and they have been really interesting to kind of replicate this strategy and those mechanisms. So what we have put together are enablement sessions so that they can influence within their own company, right? So for example, one thing that we have done, or that we are doing right now, is to have enablement sessions. So it's a one-day enablement. So in the morning, we talk about DevOps. So we have a serious game about DevOps. It's, I don't know if you know that game, but it's DevOps with Legos and candies. A very nice way to see and touch and feel DevOps and see how it is different from the rest. So actually, at the end, we have resources where I point to that. And in the afternoon, we have hands-on labs. And I think it was a very interesting talk just earlier today with Jenny from Google, from SRE, right, where she explained that to create an educational program, people need to be really hands-on, right, and not share content like this. So that's what we do in this second part of the day with hands-on labs, so people can experience.
So if we stop there for a minute, what is interesting is that Olivier just started this journey. I help him just a bit, but Olivier just started this journey about video-based content. We share that with our customer, and now we are going to do that for customers that have more than 20 internal company, I mean being business line, and trying to scale that to more than thousands of people within their company. And they like the format, they like the video-based aspect, they like the serious game, so they're asking us to help them and scale using this. So at the end of the day, it's probably going to change a bit on what we are going to do. We are going to experiment that in June. So we are going to tweak it, probably change it. But what is interesting is that a personal initiative, it's finally become a customer thing that we can sell and help customers to grow and adopt. Yeah.
All right, so I guess the next piece of this talk is how can you be, because if we say we want to influence, we also say that video is a perfect medium for that. So how can you be a DevOps YouTuber or influencer, right? So it all starts with having a place to host your videos, right? So it can be maybe already equipped with that, but you need to have a place to host your videos. Here, it's actually in this QR code, you are going to have a reference blog where we share how you can do that within the video. So it's kind of hosting your channels, having the subscribers, and being able to share the content over and over. And now, I'm going to show you 3 use cases. So I talked about presentations, demos, and whiteboarding. So let me show you how I do that, right? So I'm going to, the first thing that you need to do is to mix sources when you create videos, right? So sources can be like applications, like your microphone, the webcam. It can be application window, or maybe GIFs also, so that you can make it a little bit more attractive even. And you can also have live chat. So for example, people that interact in the video live. Then you need to assemble all those sources and use software to do that. And I like to do it live because I don't have lots of time, obviously. So I cannot really spend the time to produce my video after it has been recorded. So I do that live. And I use a software which is called OBS, Open Broadcaster Software, which is an open source software, where I assemble my scenes and I control them, right, live. So it's actually very simple. I control them with the keyboard. You can use tablets to do that. You can even use an HTTP API if you get fancy, so synchronize your PowerPoint with your controls. And eventually create outputs. So those outputs are videos that are recorded. You can stream live as well. So streaming video live is interesting because you have feedback from the others, like a Twitch-like experience. You can create a virtual camera, or you can just share your screen and present with Zoom, with Teams, with Shine, with any tool enterprise tool that you use. It's kind of the overall workflow. Let's watch a video, and 5-minute video on how this looks like, and I guess in real life. So we'll start with the presentation format. So in presentation format, I have like the PowerPoint and a webcam in different sizes, right? So you saw in the first slide there was a big size, and the second slide, it's smaller. So I have my PowerPoint presentation that's there, and I'm going to open OBS, the Open Broadcaster Software. And then what I will do there is create scenes. So scenes are kind of layouts for the content. So the first scene is going to be about the slides. And what I do, I choose a source here, and the source is PowerPoint, right? So I'm going to select PowerPoint, and okay, so now I have this in my software. I can resize it, I can crop it, adjust it to where I want it to, how I want it to look. Here, I'm just going to make it full screen. And the next thing is for me is going to be able to actually start recording or stream it, right? Now, let's create another scene, and this other scene is going to have my webcam on the side, right? So you control fully the layout here. To do that, I'm just adding another source, which is the webcam itself. So selecting the correct webcam. Here it is. So here it appears square, and I can crop the video, make it larger, resize it, essentially, and make it the way I want it to look, right? I like the round format of having a circle around it. So I can do, on top of videos, I can add filters. So this is a source where I add a filter, and the filter here is going to be a mask. And the mask is extremely simple. It's essentially a shape which is white where you want to be transparent, and black where you don't want to be transparent, or opaque. And here it is, right? I have my camera now laid out. Let's create another scene with this time just my face, but very small top right, for example, so I don't hide the content. So now I have 3 scenes, the slides only, the second scene with webcam big size, and the third scene with the webcam but smaller size. To be able to control that, now I am going to use shortcuts. So those are keyboard shortcuts, but you can have HTTP API, and just going to use the keyboard, numeric keyboard with 1, 2, 3, just to change the scene as I talk, just adapt it. Another example is transparent whiteboarding, and this is an extremely powerful way to share a story, share an evolution, right? So here, just see me like it's full webcam, but on top of me or on top of video explaining things, you have transparent whiteboarding. And the trick here is actually quite simple, is to use an old green screen cinema trick. So I go in PowerPoint, I'm going to use PowerPoint for that, and I'm going to create a full green background. So RGB, fully green. And here is my PowerPoint slide, which is all green. Now, what I'm going to do is to add this PowerPoint, as a source and add it on top of my camera. So here is my PowerPoint. I'm going to take that as a source. Actually, I'm going to crop the source, and eventually resize it. So I'm taking the green screen part of it, put that on top of the entire full screen there. Here we go. And then I'm going to add a filter, which is called a chroma key filter, but essentially it's a cinema, movies, green screen filter. And everything that's green is going to disappear. Everything that is not green is going to stay there, right? So here, this is just me, but in fact, on top of it, you have the green screen. And if you see on the left side, I take my pen, just small tablet, 40 euros tablet, and I can draw on top of it, right? So everything that's green has disappeared, but then I can start to tell a story. And when I tell a story, I don't want to always start from scratch, so I create slides that already have icons pre-ready. And now I can draw on top of the icons. So you can have, like, initially have totally blank screen, and then have icons that you lay out on top, and then continue to draw your story there. And create, okay, this is the story of a developer committing code to Git and pushing to dev, test, and production. So those are 2 types of formats, and the demos, you will imagine what this is, but it's pretty classical. Just going back on that, right? So for presentation, they are really good, like presentation sharing PowerPoint slides. They are really good to engage the audience, making, like that we are doing kind of here. They are ready to share, and you can record and also produce them live and stream live, whether it's on actually Microsoft Teams supports live streaming, YouTube, Twitch. There are multiple formats for that. There is a AWS service which is called IVS, Interactive Video Services. And there is a transcript which is very inclusive also, so you can have a text version and you can replay it on multiple speeds. One trick that is extremely important is that you need to focus. I focus videos on one topic and one topic only, and I try to make them short, right? So maximum length should be 15 minutes. This is the source. The source of the data here is the state of video in education, where they prove that 5 to 10 minutes is ideal, and you can go up to 10, 30 minutes, but short, keeping it short. You can raise the bar by using a pen on top of your presentation, extremely powerful. The other thing that I've been using also is to add comments. Here, this is a fireside chat that we had. And while people were engaging with us in the chat, in that case it was Slack, I could actually lay over the chat of the people sharing their thoughts and asking questions, which is extremely powerful. I'll give you the links to all of this at the end. Another format are technical demonstrations, right? So tech demos, essentially, they are like sharing your screen with whatever you want to present. It can be Visual Studio Code, your IDE. You can add camera also on top and animated GIFs. It's good for tools and techniques and patterns presentations. You want them to have big fonts, as big as it can be on the screen, and be beautiful, right? Now, because it's the DevOps Enterprise Summit and I'm a DevOps consultant, I like to do everything as code. So raising the bar here is actually to create videos of presentations as code. And in this case, doing demos with a script. So there is a tool, for example, on GitHub, which is called VHS, open source as well, and where you create a script of what you want to do, and this script is going to generate an MP4 or a GIF file. And what is really cool about that is that first, your presentation is going to be always fresh. So every time you retrigger your automated pipeline, it's going to generate a new GIF. And the GIF is going to have the new version of the CLI or the tool that you are demonstrating. So it's a script, and then you can manage the script and have pull requests, for example, if someone wants to change a script. Extremely handy. The third format that I've been using is transparent whiteboarding. And it's as I was sharing, extremely powerful to share a story. And I've been inspired a lot by those type of videos. So powerful way to explain and tell a story. You don't need to know how to draw. I mean, it's just like, no, you don't need. Just a pen, and it's actually very cheap to get a tablet for that. And what is really interesting is that you can mix the live drawing with prepared slides and icons, and you can draw on top of that and have a story that makes a lot of sense within those 10 minutes, 15 minutes type of video, and you just use the green screen for that. Now, I don't think we figured out everything, definitely. So we need help, right? One thing that we need help, I think we figured out how to have as code videos for terminal-based type of demos. We showed that. But can we do the same thing for GUI? Because one of the challenge with videos is that they are hard to change and they are hard to update, right? So either you re-record the video from scratch, or maybe if we manage it as code, we can just automatically re-record, change the script a little, and have a new version of it. So should we use Selenium for that, or a kind of an automation tool, right? The other thing, because in this the Generative AI Enterprise Summit conference, this I think it's called now, how will generative AI help us to create videos? For example, you don't have to show your face in the morning, in pajamas. What you can do is that you can create avatars, and you can have the avatar talk. And I've seen people use multiple avatars to have different characters, like, for example, Dan, the developer, and Tim, the tester. And it was just using different avatars to have kind of a scripted scenario this way. So you can do that, I guess, with animations, but could we do that with generative AI? I think it would be really interesting. Okay, and last but not least, all of the references are there. So if you want to scan this code, it's going to send you to a gist. And the gist is going to GitHub gist, and it's going to have all of the resources of the talk.
Yes. Please.
There is a question?
Why have you chosen the more difficult way not to use Discord or Twitch?
So the question is, why did we choose the most difficult way, which is actually using videos and not using Discord or Twitch? One of the constraints that we have internally and also with our customers is that we need to have private type of media, so we need to embed ourselves and fit in the tooling that is used by the customer, and privacy is actually very important. So indeed, right, we have to recreate some kind of an environment. Now, of course, if you can choose your own media, so definitely could use Twitch, which is awesome for that.
Any other question?
Yeah.
I saw during the presentation you were using Windows. Would this work on Mac as well, or would that be a different model of software?
Yeah. So the question is, in the videos we are using Windows. Can this work on Mac as well? So yes, OBS actually works on Mac and Linux. So it's kind of a very nice open source software that is very portable. So I use OBS for that. It's kind of my way to do that live, because I don't have lots of time to do editing afterwards. And I also like I like the live format. And OBS is one of the most popular tool to do that. Okay. So
yeah.
Go ahead.
So thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining. I really hope you get something out of it, and that you're now ready to influence others with videos. Thank you.